Sunday night, 9 o'clock UK time. It can mean only one thing. It's time for the Sunday Nighter. Hello, folks. How are you doing? I now have a face for YouTube. I've had a face for podcasts for the past couple of weeks, and if you notice, I've still got a little bit of a lisp. Unfortunately, I've still got a little bit of dental work to go for. I've had some dental work, had a 4 extraction. Oh God, it's the Oompa Loompa.
Hello.
I've had 4 extractions. I've had a dry socket infection. I've had a face like Mungo, haven't I?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Looks like a bit of a muppet, to be fair, he did.
here we go. Now I see the chat is all banging. Good to see you, folks. I don't know why the chat hasn't come up on there yet. Here we go. I think I'm going to can that chat off at some point.
You seem to have problems with it every single time.
Every single time.
Yeah.
Right. This is a question answer show. I will be answering with a wisp. With a lisp, but with a wisp. Yeah. So, yeah, but we'll get those questions in. So let me open the question doc. Question. That's it. So the link is down below, folks. Delete previous. And it is open. So if you've got any terrain related questions, get them down below. Okay? In the meantime, I've been a lot of admin, a lot of family stuff. Yeah. And sorting out this one. He's done very well.
Out this one?
He's got into a very, 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 very good sixth form college, hasn't he?
Oh, I thought they already knew that.
No.
So we told them last time.
No.
Did you guys know this already or not? I can't remember if we... I'm sure this came up as a conversation last time I was here.
Forget the girl count. He's beyond girls now.
We don't talk about that.
No, we don't.
Do me a favour.
No. Now, can I do a live show? And can you go for your bath, please, son?
I'm waiting for it to cool down a little bit.
You mean you filled it with too much hot water?
Yeah, so I can stay here for a bit. So I'm going to stay here for like 5-10 minutes, wait for it to cool.
Switch that
Go
off.
Away.
Oh, what?
Be gone.
Oh. Goodbye, Corb. I wonder what was about to load then.
No, it was bloody...
My fiance's.
Hi guys, I'm back.
Why is it that when I come back and I try and do a proper live show, you're Oompa Loompa?
I make it interesting.
A bit of a volume, please. My volume's turned up as much as it can go. Let me move my microphone a little bit closer.
Is it the mic settings?
I don't know. Shouldn't be.
Have they been tampered with?
You tampered with what?
I know, I said have they been tampered with?
No, I'm just worried. Right, there we go.
Your phone's on 1%.
Is that better, guys?
Can you hear him now? They look lower than they were before.
Yeah, they are low settings for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah, have you dropped it or something?
No. So, right, people are saying that's better. We're just below the yellow, so that should be good enough.
There you go, guys. We're sorted now.
Yeah, everyone's saying it is. Right, the question doc is open. Now, in the meantime, I've been playing around with 3D printing.
Oh, God.
And I've discovered a new love, or a new hate. I hate supports. I mean, the printer's really good. Really good.
I like them because I get to cut them off.
Yeah, but they're just... So, right, guys. We need to have a chat about 3D printing and supports. Yeah? Because I'm going to lose nails and stuff trying to deal with things like this.
Can I use clippers?
There's got to be an easier way.
A file.
It looks like... It's like looking at Han and Chewie. Thank you, Otis.
Not funny.
Terrainosaur. I like that name.
Terrainosaur.
Summon the officer. Right. So, anyone got any experience with supports?
Come sit yourself down.
There's a Yoda coming for Legion, Mel. Is there?
Wait,
We dabbled with Legion for a little bit, didn't we?
I think it.
And then you broke the rulers.
I broke the rulers.
Yeah, you broke the rulers.
Did I break the? I'm sure I didn't break the rulers.
You did.
When?
Use
I can't remember.
nippers to remove. I've tried it. I don't know whether it's the settings. I'm using
thought it was
Cura.
easy. I did it. I just sorted out his little miniature melon.
Oh, that one's a lot easier. These supports are...
Let me give it a go.
Go on, you see if you can get the supports off that. Flat-sided Dremel, small screwdriver. Dremel. Hello, Tan. Hey, Mott. I think it's going to have to come down to a Dremel, to be truthful. Now, in other slightly different news, yeah, just on the personal front, obviously health and everything's all back, you know, back in the studio, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, and it's all good. We were in the watch a couple of days ago, weren't we?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Corbin took his airsoft gun in because he wanted to shoot some like polystyrene targets, and he shot at the wall, but luckily I had filler.
No, I shot the target, and it went through and hit the wall.
Yeah.
That polystyrene was quite thick. I didn't think it'd do it, to be fair.
So?
Yeah.
Right, we've got questions coming in. Remember, guys, it is a terrain show. I need your terrain questions. Links down below.
I'm going to have to think of terrain.
So, playing around with 3D printing, still battling. I think I'm going to have to get a Dremel on it and that sort of stuff. Yeah. Try needle files, the one for machinery, and jewelry hand saws. I can check those out. But check your support diameter. Oh, Corbett and Kerry and everyone is getting well into airsoft. I'm not. Am I?
No.
I've done my running around.
Oh, yeah, I tell you. My mum's gone and brought herself some new air pistol. My mum's current boyfriend is looking at getting an air weapon. I've got an airsoft gun. The back garden's a shooting range, pretty much.
I'm quite happy in my house. Now, I haven't got a gun. I've got a flute. I've ordered a flute. I'm going to learn how to play the flute.
I think he's losing his mind. I said go for a guitar, it'd be funny. But...
No, I like the flute. Dan's asking, are you removing the supports before or after you cure the resin? To be honest, mate, it's a it's a PLA. Yeah, so it's not a resin.
So it doesn't need to be cured.
You need to look at manual support and done items better on resin printers and others on filament, but a Dremel is useful as a nippers. I'm going to have to get another Dremel.
What was your last one?
Oh, it was a cheap one, mate, so eventually it wore out.
Okay, makes sense.
Blowpipe. No, I'm not getting a blowpipe. I'm getting a flute. Bamboo flute.
It's a Pied Piper.
13-inch.
I mean,
Right, questions are coming in. Nice and good.
You best run around conventions with the flute, start playing tunes. I better hear some beautiful medieval music coming from you running around a convention.
Oh, no. I mean, I'm going to take it. If I get into it and I can learn it properly, you know, I really... Because, I mean, it's the meditation music. You know, I want to go sit up in the woods and...
We're in Stoke. What woods are you thinking of going to?
Parkour.
Do you understand the look you're going to get off some chavs up parkour?
The chavs? What do I give a damn about chavs?
It's going to be weird. The thing is, they probably have seen you with me at some point. They'll come to me and be like, why is he there with a flute up parkour? Right, I think he's lost it.
Digger's saying he uses a Dremel with a flex shaft. Flex shafts are brilliant. Remember not to inhale. Is that the flute? No, what do you call it? As you know, I've had some lung issues and that sort of stuff. And one of the ideas of going for a flute is it'll encourage my breathing, you know, and hopefully, you know, improve. Right, Jimmy's asking, what rifle do you have?
What, me?
Yeah.
I've gone and bought myself an ARP-9.
An ARP-9. Mel goes up for all Jethro Tull on us. I'm finding a new pace in life. You know what I mean? How are you doing with that?
All right, I've got one words out.
Right, I've got 3 terrain questions so far. In fact, I don't even know what 3 terrain if they are terrain questions, but Links down below. Like, I've got questions. Mal in the woods, sitting on a mushroom, blowing his flute. You calm down, Martin. Are you playing sniper? Try a harmonica for breathing as well. Oh, a harmonica. Now, right, I'm going to have to move this mic really close, I think, because we're having real problems with it tonight. Right, how's that, guys? Is that better? Mal, I've been a fan of your videos for some time now. Just think about creating a roll-up playmat. Would memory foam work for creating hills, bunkers, contours, etc.? Yeah, I mean, it would. The problem is coating it. It's a bit like differential wheels gearing on a car. Yeah, when you roll it up, some bits are going to want to roll more than others. And with a hill, yeah, it sort of has problems. I would still consider, yeah, one layer you might get away with, but I'd still consider looking at scatter terrain for that sort of thing, mate. Question about the mini mells. Is there a competition? Is there a deadline? Well, to be truthful, with the way fulfillment went, we weren't quite sure. We had plans, but it never really sort of fulfillment it didn't go as well as we wanted it to, and so it sort of rolled a bit, and so we never really got into the right. Everyone's got their models. Let's do the competition, this sort of thing, and so I think we've missed the boat on that one, to be truthful. Yeah, I think I'm just going to sit back and watch them pop up on the Terrainiacs group. Yeah, and if you're not part of the Terrainiacs group, links down below, guys. Oh, pardon me. A bagpipe. Paul's asking, how are you doing on the book? You do know it's in shops, don't you, Paul? For those of you who don't know, the book is published, written, published. It's gone out to the Kickstarter backers, and now it's in retail. Mark's just saying he's just finished my mini Mel, so happy with the results. I want to see these photos on the Terrainiacs, guys.
Also, quick question, Paul. What sight have you got on your rifle? Because I need to get a sight for mine. He's the one who was asking about my gun. So I need to get a sight on mine, so I wondered what kind of thing he's using. What? This chat I can have.
What? No, I need this in my life. Right, dude, if you really order it from your local FLGS, yeah. If they don't stock it, they can get it from either Warlord Games distribution in the UK and all around Europe and the rest of the world. In the US and Canada, they can get it from Bridge distribution or Alliance distribution. And if you want to get it direct off the web, you can get it in the US and Canada from Ironheart Artisans. And in for the rest of the world, including the UK and Europe, you can get it from Warlord Games. It's on their website. There. My copy of the book should be here by the end of the week. Can't wait. Been seeing the book on a fair few shots of hobby YouTube channels. Really? I know. Obviously I know all the YouTube and stuff are going. But I've sort of missed this because I'm not at, and it's quite strange. Like the idea of my book being on somebody else's YouTube channel. Took my mom and pop hobby store about a month to get it. To be truthful, yeah, it hasn't been actually out in retail for longer than a month, so it wasn't available for them to get because we didn't want to put it into retail until all the Kickstarters. And to be truthful, we even thought that in future we're going to leave like a 3-month sort of embargo between when we fulfill the Kickstarter and when we and when the book goes to retail to make sure there's absolutely no overlap. Hey, is the bath cold by now? Cat's asking.
Oh, that's a fair point, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's a fair point. Go on.
Might go do this in the bath.
Gerard Boom's book's being delivered at this time. It is. I was chatting with Mike, who's running his fulfillment and Kickstarter, and my copy is on the way.
On my back.
Go on, lad.
Actually.
All right, love you, lad.
Love you.
Pull door. and relax. I do love him, my little Oompa Loompa. But he can derail anything. New Fairy is saying, I've shown it on mine a few times, Mel. Thank you, buddy. Yeah, Legion Academy mention your book. Cool. I shall have a look once the stream's over. No worries, Paul. Everyone's waiting Gerard's book as well. I need a Proxon as well. Ooh, you got a cheeky mini Mel, did you? Andy's got his, but he can't look at it till his birthday in April. Oh, that's willpower, dude. That is willpower. Right, I've got 5 questions so far. Keep them coming. We'll chat for another couple of minutes, and then we'll jump into it. But yeah, Gerard's book's on the way, and it looks good. You know, I was chatting with Mike, who's been handling his Kickstarter and everything. And, you know, Gerard did his book, his Kickstarter for his book, around about the same time, just after mine, you know. And he's I mean, he's had similar problems and that sort of stuff, you know. You know, it took him a lot longer than he expected. And there's a lot to learn with Kickstarter. But the main thing is, you get it back. Dave's looking for some help with making hedges for bolt action. Go to the playlist, Terrain Techniques. No, is it Let's Makes? I think that's in the Let's Makes, mate. Paul's been putting time into his double. What are you working on lately, guys? I have a Hercules version of Proxon hot wire foam. Ooh. Mal, if you watch the show The Rain, it's set in Europe and it's on Netflix. No, I haven't seen that. This lisp is doing my nutting. I can hear it with everything. I mean, on the 8th I go and I pick up dentures, so I'll be able to smile again. God. Bat's on his 3rd Oompa Loompa, has 2 already flown the coop. Oh, I've got 2. I don't think I'll ever get rid of them, to be honest. Oh. Tanya's been working on a lot of D&D stuff. Plugging along with the Night Haunt. Questions. Right. Tell you what, guys. Let's jump into some Q&A, eh? Guys been doing some painting. Hey, a band. Tim's on Necromunda terrain. And he's out of plastic art. That's not good. Knots is working on 3D printings for Pirate Board by Sophie of Needy Cat Games. That and helping rebuild a new studio and game store. Well, you're keeping busy then, mate, aren't you? James has still got his 3 Oompa Loompas. Eldest is 26. Mate, do you need an intervention? Ooh, Fenris is working on a cathedral with Hearst Arts in resin. That's going to be pretty impressive. And not... What's the sort of weight on that when you do it in resin? I know Martin's printing his spaceship. Tim's from Pennsylvania working on some Kahadron Overlords and basing Blades of Corn. Cookie Dough's just got a 3D printer. Very nice. I built a City Fight board, but used paste instead of sandpaper, which I regret. It happens. It happens. Starting dinosaur terrain. I like that idea. Just started bolt action. Did some sandbags from your video. Excellent, Dave. Can I ask who Gerard Boom is and what his book is called or the Kickstarter was called? Shifting Sands, isn't it? shiftingsands.com for Gerard's website. I'll let people in the comments fill those details, but he's a foam worker who makes buildings and they're beautiful. Thanks, Cookie Dough. Shifting lands, not shifting sands. That's it. Still working on a huge ship engine board slowly. I hope you get plenty of games on that, matey. Samurai and Japanese terrain? Ah, we had a little dabble with that. Right. I think I need to answer some of your questions. Right. Let's do some questions. Quick brew. Right, this one's from Diggers. Right, how would you go building a Quonset hut? I know what I want to use to form it. It's the ribs I'm having issues with. Corrugated cardboard seems to kink around the piece of PVA I'm using. So any ideas from there? Right, first off, what is one of those huts? Because I don't recognise that. Let's have a look. Are you using if you're using PVC pipe? Ah, right. The ribs. Not going to want anything tubular, are you? A Quonset hut is a curved hut. Bit like the old barrack blocks, which were like half a tube with, like, you know, the doors and the windows up. Yeah. So for the ribbing, it's a challenge, that one, because you're going to want something that's, but you're going to want to bend it over, which is why the cardboard's kinking, obviously. Ah. Do you know what? I'm struggling with that one, mate. I mean, other than doing strips of cardboard, you know, thin strips of cardboard or plasticard, I mean, you can get styrene strips which are half a tube. Yeah, so an arch. They would work, and they are flexible and they wouldn't kink. Yeah, and they would stick to the PVC tubing you use. Yeah, I just don't know how expensive it'll be. Yeah, Terry's saying, yeah, Quonset hut is a Nissan hut. I was just thinking maybe a rubber ribbed mat. Yeah, that would work. It's whether you'd have problems getting the the paint to stick to it afterwards. B-Moth is saying for 28mm, look out for O-gauge railway buildings for the hut. That'd work. String over the top, then tissues to blend it in. Yeah, that would work, Ant. Yeah, Cat's saying put fabric over it, apply ribs, then put fabric over it. That would work. I know people are having problems with the audio, but it seems to be a YouTube thing today. I'm doing my best. I don't even know if there's a master audio on this. Don't know if this will make a difference. We'll see. Right. Right, he's saying, Digger's saying, thanks, Cat, that's all great ideas. Corrugated cardboard, try wetting the cardboard lightly to keep it from kinking. You could wet it with watered down PVA so afterwards it sets hard. That would work. Right, let's carry on. Onwards. Great steed. Colette's asking, can I ask what your 3D printer is you use, as I'm looking to get one? I'm using a friend's Wanhu I+, but your printer looks far better. I've got an Anycubic Mega S. Yeah, yeah, that's right. Anycubic Mega S.
Yeah.
Thank you, Roddy. And in all honesty, the results on it is good. It really is good. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm quite impressed. I think the thinnest it can put a layer down is 0.1 of a mil. Yeah, so, you know, I'm happy with it. I mean, a lot of people like Ender Pros. It was Justin at Beast of War who put me onto this. Yeah, and I liked it. Right. Moving on, question 3 of 7. Uh-oh, it's Tanya. This could be trouble. Hey Mal, how are you doing? My question is, what upcoming tutorials can we see in the channel? Right. First off, I'm doing well. I'm doing a lot better. Obviously, we had last year and everything. I got back on my feet and then my tooth fractured, you know, and I've had a difficult couple of weeks, you know, with dental work and that sort of stuff. But that's going to resolve things now. Now, with regards to stuff on the channel, yeah, I've been working on the Big Burma roads. Yeah, we've got a terrain lab on stiffening up using casting powder to stiffen up terrain boards and pieces that can flex a lot. That's tied into the Burma build project. I've got the Kill Team piping video, Kill Team, detailing, Kill Team weathering. And there's another one in there. So generally, the videos that are going to be coming to the channel over this month are either Burma buildy, yeah, or plasticky. But that's what's coming up. Not to say, Mel, I have to say you are looking a lot better. I'm much on the up. I don't think people really realise how bad I was. Do you know what I mean? Last year and that sort of stuff. And we're stepping back from the channel, you know. I know there were times when you saw me rough. I looked a lot rougher the times you didn't see me. And I've been through quite a lot, guys, in all honesty. But I bounced out of it in a much better place. And, you know, I'm on the climb. Now, I've had a couple of struggles and that sort of stuff start of the year. But, hey, compared to last year, it's nothing. Yeah, and I am in a much more happier and positive place. So, that answers how am I doing and what's coming to the channel. Right. Question 4 of 7. Let's have a look what this is. Okay. Liebe plays. I've started my own board with inspiration from your modular trench board, but one of a cliff. I've used a filler to make polystyrene harder, but primer and paint does not want to stick. I've done many coats, but at the minute it's just a white cliff. Right. Paint shouldn't have a problem sticking to either polystyrene or filler. Yeah. Unless you've used some sort of a silicone filler or some non-paintable. I think the first thing is to establish that you're using proper filler, paintable filler. And then the next is, what paints are you painting it with, mate? Are you using house paints? You know? It should stick. Paint should go down. So there's either an issue with the filler or there's an issue with the paint. But there's not an issue with what you're doing. It's a material issue, mate. And I don't know really what to say beyond that because I've got no more information to help you with. I don't know the names of the products you're using or anything like that. So if you've got any more information, Lee, drop it in another question and we'll pick that one back up. Right. 5 of 7. Papa's Diecast Den. What is some things that experience has taught you as an educator you would pass along to someone learning new? As an educator? 1 second on that question. Leeby's craft acrylics and standard dial filler. That makes no sense, mate. Post some photos on the Terrainiacs group because that should absolutely work. And you shouldn't have problems with that. So nip down into the description, the link to the Terrainiacs Facebook group, the support group. There's 24,000 members on there. Jump in there, post some photos, post the question in there, and let's have a look and see if we can solve this. Because that's not right. Now, moving on to Papa's Diecast Den's question. What are some things that experience has taught you as an educator that you would pass along to someone learning new? Oh, that's a difficult one. Ooh. I mean, there's the simple ones that... I mean, I've actually got a background as a teacher. You know, I used to teach in a college for a couple of years. So, I was a full-time college lecturer. So it's a difficult one to put in this context. Because a lot of the stuff I would say is just standard teaching technique and, common sense. I think the only piece of advice I can really give is if you're going to choose what to teach, don't teach anything you don't have a passion for. Because not just from what I do on the channel and with terrain and stuff like that, but from all the good teachers I know, the best teachers have always been the ones who are passionate about their subject. They suck you in with it. And so... that's the main thing. Be passionate about what you teach. The broad subject in each lesson, You're spreading joy, you're spreading information. That's the best advice I can give you on that one, buddy. Right. People are just generally talking shifting sands and night terrain. Well said, Mel. Thank you, buddy. I'd say being confident with speaking out. That comes with teaching anyway. I mean, you can't teach without being confident. Not with confidence. Cat's talking about liquid nails is much cheaper than spackle. I'm not sure if it's the same in the UK. I would say liquid nails, material-wise, is probably more expensive. Hey, Dave. Being passionate but reliable. Yes, I know. I'll get better, don't worry. It is something I've struggled with, and we know it's something I've struggled with for a long time with the channel, but we're working on that. Don't use a monotone voice. It sends people to sleep. Tanya's saying, yeah, it's more expensive here in Oz too. That's interesting. Because it's not something I would have gone down with because of the expense of using it. Right. What other questions have I got? I've got 2 more. Yeah, US stuff like liquid nails is always cheaper. There you are. So yeah, us Brits, it's cheaper to use spackle. I got big tubes of liquid nails from Home Depot at the stale for under $2. No way. I mean, you're liquid. In fact, let's have a look. B&Q. No more nails. $5 for 128 milliliters from B&Q. So what's that about? $7-8? So no. Yeah, Tanya's saying it's at least $20 a tube here. Yeah, no more nails. I mean, I've got it in the studio and I do use it, but I only use it as an adhesive. You know what I mean? Because it is so expensive. Poundland no nails is very good. I'll check that out. Do you know what? Perhaps we should have a texturing terrain lab. What do you think? Next, what do you call it? Hello, ugly. You're not wrong. I think, what do you call it? We might have a chat next Sunday night. And we'll have a chat about, right, let's do a terrain lab on different texturing techniques. You're lucky, cat. You can't get it that cheap here, Doc. I can't even get one of the little ones for that cheap here. All right. We'll do we'll have a chat about it on Sunday. I'll do some watch glitz. We'll do some research and we'll plan a terrain lab and we'll do an order. Yeah, we'll get all the materials in, and yeah, we'll nail it. Literally. It'll give me a good reason to go around the shops and get out as well. So yeah, all right, we've got a terrain lab to plan next Sunday. Yeah, so that'll be the theme of next Sunday's show. Yeah, we'll talk about texturing, sealing, and all that sort of stuff. At the same time, we'll go through a load of different ideas. I'll note them down. Any questions that come up will come up. Yeah, and we'll come up with a series of question answers and products that we want to run a terrain lab with, and then I'll run it over that week. How does that sound? You up for that? Martin's saying if you want cheap weathering powders, Aldi this week, 24 non-oil pastel sticks for £3. Poundland, the UK version of US Dollar Tree. I'll tell you, Michaels and Hobby Lobby blew me away when I went to Adepticon. And what do you call it? Oh, Bill and Sue from Terrainaholic. They took me out and took me for a tour of like Hobby Lobbies and Michaels and you have Aldi's in the States? I never knew that. So yeah, that's our plan. We're going to do a texturing terrain lab. Yeah, we'll talk about it next Sunday because I've got this week planned up. Okay, and I'm getting very much back into it. Yeah, but got this week planned up. We're getting back into it. We'll do that. We'll work it out. And that'll be a really nice terrain lab, actually. Right, back to my questions. Right, moving on. Question 6 of 8, night terrain. In RPGs, I've seen a lot of players wanting their minis up in terrain trees. How would you accomplish this and keep it aesthetically pleasing? Yeah, try branching. So the idea is you want to put a miniature in a tree. Yeah. Gamers, they always like doing stuff like that. There's a way of doing it. When you twist your wire armatures, yeah, get up to like where you get the first splits of the bows and do 3 splits. Yeah, so it splits like that. Yeah, and then bring off 3 separate sort of bows, branches, we're expanding into your foliage of the tree. What that does is it leaves a gap and it leaves 3 points where you can balance a model right in the tree. And pretty typically, if you do it right, you can have it so they're just heads popping out of the top. You know, a bit like in, Hobbit. Yeah, when they're in the woods. So splitting your branches into 3 trees, splitting your wire armature into 3 trees and then, doing your foliage and that sort of stuff will allow you to place a model, right in there. Yeah, obviously, I'd put some matte varnish on the paintwork on the actual limbs and that sort of stuff at that point, because you're going to have, it could get scratched. But beyond that, that's how you do it. How often do you go to bed early in a 16-day period? I'd just be like to have sleep normally. I think the nearest we have in the UK is Hobbycraft stores, but they aren't as cheap as the US stores. And they're nowhere near as well stocked. Nowhere near. What's that? Yeah, we're all good. For Paul saying I hid my sniper miniature in a 7-foot tall aquarium tree and nobody saw it for an hour of gameplay. I like things like that. That's sneaky. Yes, Aldi has come to the US now. So the Germans have invaded, have they? You'll be getting all those weird Christmas cakes and that sort of stuff. I like that. I like hiding a model in a tree. Right, let's move on. Let's go on for 7 of 8 guys. The Tooth Fairy, A-up. How is the tooth action? Must have been bad to have 3 weeks off. Hope is all well. Tooth action is well. A dry socket infection, they're not pretty. And I did it was not pretty for YouTube, but all is well now. For a hobby store, Hobbycraft is expensive. Yeah, that's correct. Douglas is asking, what are your thoughts on homebrew flock using very fine sawdust mixed with acrylic paint? Absolutely fine. The only reason I don't tend to, is I actually use very little flock when I'm doing my projects. And I quite like the colour blending that comes with Javis flocks. So, and it's the only reason I don't make my own. Paul's right, the Works is possibly the closest to a national craft store. Yep. Some of the comments. Right, question 8 of 8. George is asking, you planning on doing any more tree tutorials? Fir trees, perhaps? I might, but I can't see it being massively on the list to jump into, to be truthful. Yeah. There's still a long time ahead on this channel. We've got years to go yet, so there's plenty of time for me to go back and do fir trees and stuff like that, but I really want to get into like the kill team, the plastic D, and some sci-fi stuff, and I want to get into my big Burma board. Yeah, so that's the way I'm sort of going. Right, that's all the questions on the doc, so I'm going to go with the chat for a couple of minutes, and we'll go like that. Paul's asking, what airbrush kit would you recommend for a noob? What I wouldn't recommend is anything default that comes cheap with a starter kit. Yeah. I had a cheap Chinese for years, and it made me give up on airbrushing, and it wasn't until I got a Badger Patriot 105, that I realised, damn, I should have got a proper airbrush, well ahead. The Badger, Badger Patriot 105 is a good all-round airbrush, and it served me well for years. So that's the one I recommend, but Iwata do some good ones. There's some other makes as well. Right, Has anyone got any more questions for me? Come on. About phlox and trees, does anyone know when do birch make those lovely seeds? They're amazing for leaves. Silver birch seeds. Yeah, they shed in September. I've still got massive sacks full of them. Jimmy's saying depends what you need to use an airbrush for. Miniatures need a good one, whilst terrain just needs a cheap one. I'm not going to argue with that. You know, a basic entry, good basic entry, airbrush will do you well for terrain. Everyone's just talking paint glues and white packaging foam. Oh, it's godsend. Oh, it's back. I'm back for the end of the show. Yeah. The only reason he's here is because he wants to take claim of the computer because his mate.
Yo, Connor, if you're watching this, yeah.
Connor's not going to be watching this.
At the time, there was live streams, to be fair, so he might be watching this. But Tom might be on after the live stream, so yeah, he might watch
Well, we'll be winding up.
So, hi, Connor.
They target the 105 as my workhorse. I do like it, to be truthful. Personal question. But what do you do when the black dog decides to drop by? Generally, when the black dog decides to drop by, and when I realise the black dog is visiting, yeah, eat properly. Start eating fruit. Yeah, make sure I have breakfast, I have lunch, and I have tea. Make sure I sleep properly, and I make sure I go out and I exercise. Yeah, and by exercise, I walk at least a couple of miles a day, every day. Yeah, those three things alone, yeah, will deal with 80% of the black dog. Yeah, and even if they don't, they make a significant difference. Trust me, I've been there. Yeah. Dave's received the book and loves it. Mazamundi's Mel, what was the mix we used for the Burma board? We used mixed herbs and pan au chocolat from B&Q. If you remember, mate. It's the brown. Yeah, the brown we settled for. It was a pan au chocolat colour. Yeah, and I was pasting. Yeah, and I got tubs of it.
Like the pastry or the chocolate?
No. It's a brown paint. Yeah, B&Q called it pan au chocolat.
Oh.
Yeah. So I was sending Mazamundi, Dave, yeah, to B&Q to pick up like pan au chocolat paint to do his bases with mixed herbs.
Oh.
How cold is it there? I wouldn't say it's cold at all, would you?
I mean, that bath was pretty cold, to be fair.
God.
It was still warm when I got there, like really hot. So I put cold water in, and then I got to clipping Yoda and forgot about it. So when I got in the bath, it was freezing cold. Yoda's clipped now, though. Do you want to see Yoda?
Go on, let's show Yoda. Have you managed to get these supports off before we wrap this up?
Yeah, I actually did, to be fair. It took a moment, and the fingers molded with the...
Yes, cheers. Going to use it for backgrounds. What, for your spiders? That'll be cool, Dave. I'm still not coming to visit you while you got those spiders. You haven't got a hope in hell, mate. You're not going to get me in your house while they're in there.
The support's molded with the fingers on that hand there, because it's like one little piece. So you have to sort that out, but...
He's lost his hand.
Yeah. But it's alright, to be fair. It's not too bad.
That's not too bad.
I think you can fix that with a bit of a file to it.
I can fix a Right. I can fix a missing complete hand with a file.
Yeah, you can. You file down little stumps into the the thing and just make his hand seem further up there.
Are you really my son? Really?
I could probably do it, to be fair, but enough time.
Stay strong, Paul. Get yourself out. Fresh air, food, sleep. Vitamins and minerals. They're the first thing that'll make a massive difference, dude.
And a fresh trim. Get a haircut. Get out.
Dave's got 62 spiders now.
Oh, you'll take.
62 like tarantulas in your house.
How could you live there? I'd get a separate house.
Mate, I'm not even coming to your city. Never mind your street and your house. Replace the hand completely. I think I'm going to have to.
Nah, you'd be fine. It's only a hand.
Cut Corb's hand off of him. He needs those hands for all his imaginary girlfriends. Oh, yeah, burn. Yeah, that was burn, son. That burnt so hard it was scorching. You got touched by the sun, son.
I'm in the right mind to get every girl I speak to on a group chat. Call them right now on this live stream and let them all talk to you so you can see that again. I feel like that'd be quite fun.
Mate, most of the girls you know you don't want to speak to again. Do you really want to put them in one big group in a group chat?
That'd be so fun.
No. And on that,
yeah. All right. Let's not get into that conversation.
give him a flute. Tarantulas are fine. No, they are not. I make more terrain now than when I was painting. I bet you do. I bet you do, mate, for those vivs.
Fair enough. Paul.
I go out on my motorbike and listen to some metal. Paul,
What's that doing?
walk, exercise.
What's he doing? I mean,
It's massive, mate.
I mean, I could think on the motorbike pretty fun. To be fair, I think I'd sort it out.
Put on some Jethro Tull.
Or a lot of drum and bass. That works. Just block out every other sound in your head and it works.
How are you going to survive in a faith school?
Ooh, I have no idea.
I have no idea anyway.
I'll tell you.
Right. I think this is turning down into family chats now. I have had a
Yeah.
brilliant hour with you guys. Yeah, it's been good to be back. Yeah, there are videos coming. You will see them.
I'm making sure of it. Don't worry.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I'll be
We're
back
working. We're in.
If he doesn't tell you.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
So we will have a Sunday night, and next week we're talking about terrain texturing. Pardon me. I will be learning the flute. I won't be playing it for you. That's a personal thing.
Oh, you have to play the flute on the live stream. Sorry, that's happening.
Well, let's see if I can get what. But in the meantime, guys, yeah, thanks for joining me tonight. Yeah, it's been cracker. It's good to be back. I need 10 taps from you on the way out. So you know the drill. 4 for the hell, 1 for the space, 4 for the yeah, and 1 to hit return to put a smile on my face. Thanks for a cracking show, folks.
Bye, guys.
Ta.